Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is Sunday. Welcome to the last day of the weekend. And I'm going to talk today about something that kind of came up in when I went live in Doc B's group yesterday, and something that I've worked on a lot this past year. And it's how do we identify and improve like our self-esteem and our self-worth? And the reason it kind of came up is that how do we, when we're struggling with weight loss, in my case, what did I need to do so that I could keep myself committed to my journey? And a lot of it is I had to shift the way I thought about myself and I thought about others, so that I could, mainly about myself, so that I could remember that I'm worth the effort, and that if I feel bad about myself, or if I feel in a negative place, I don't always make the right decisions because I kind of feel like I've tossed in the towel. So I think what we have to do is grab a hold of the positive thinking, so that you remember you're worth all the effort that you might have to make the changes, and to think the thoughts that will help you to make the choices to better your life. And so I did some research on how do you improve self-worth and self-esteem and the inner voice, because that is our inner voice, and what skills do we need and how do we do this, and what are some of the traits that are prevalent in people that do have stronger self-worth. And again, interestingly, in the article it talks about you want to have a right balance, because if you're too high on it, that's a problem. Like anything, everything's balanced. If you're too high on it, it's a problem, and if you're too low on it, it's a problem. So how do we find that right balance and reinforce the good traits? Of course, we all know that once we do that, we have to practice, and we have to learn to say no and avoid being overburdened. And I'm one about the overburden. I've struggled with that. Improving physical health. It's kind of interesting what this journey for me is about, improving physical health. Well, part of improving physical health is controlling, recognizing, and improving my self-esteem and my self-worth, so that I know I'm worth the energy and the effort it takes to take care of my health. So again, like I said, that I looked up some articles, and skills you need was one of the areas. Ideas from TED.com, which is I think the TED Talks. So why do we want to improve self-worth and self-esteem? It's because we feel better, we're more resilient. Our brain, and this was interesting, brain scans show that if you have stronger self-worth and self-esteem, the pain of rejection and failure is shorter lived. You're more able to stand up and make changes faster. So how do people do it? They use positive affirmations, they identify their strengths, they build them, they figure their core competencies, they learn to accept compliments. That's probably a tough one. Eliminate self-criticism and make a list of your meaningful qualities. So I wanted to remind us that when we're trying to make changes, we have to look at the positive in ourselves and make sure that we're not falling into the negative despair area. And some of the qualities of strong self-worth and self-esteem are compassionate, thorough, humility, fairness, forgiveness, authenticity, courageousness, generosity, conscientiousness, perseverance, responsibility, fortitude, integrity, courage, honesty, loyalty, lovingness, optimism, reliability, encouragement, forgiveness, ambitiousness, self-discipline, kindness, politeness, leadership, trustworthy, respectful, creative, and tenacious. So I think there's a lot of great qualities out there, and we all have some part of those qualities. So if we can take a chance, if we're feeling low about ourselves, if we remember that we all have some of those qualities, and that we can be positive, and when we're faced with a decision that's not supporting what we want long term, we can pull out some of those positive thoughts, positive affirmations, and positive qualities to help us overcome. Good morning, Ying. Always strong as usual. I think this is a team of strong people. But that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today, is because we talked about it in our live yesterday, and it's that self-worth thing. I think that when I make bad decisions, it's because my head is in a bad place. So I need to make sure that I keep thinking positive and about the accomplishments and making things better. And what I have found is that I tend to, like we said, what are the good traits of people with positive self-esteem and self-worth? They practice positive thinking and recognizing their strengths. They learn to say no so that they're not overburdened. And they improve their physical health. Well, the hard part is if you're not strong in your self-worth and your self-value, you don't improve your physical health. So it's kind of like that circle. It seems like everything in our life is a circle that we have to grab all the pieces to make the wheels turn. And then small steps. And we all know these things. We talk about them all the time. And these little lives are helping me because I keep reminding myself. So remember, we want to reinforce our good traits. We're going to have to practice it. And I've done a lot with positive I am affirmations and whatever kind of feels good to you. It has to feel good to you or you're fighting it. Learn to say no so you're not overwhelmed. Improve your physical health and take small steps. Again, self-esteem is about the right balance, because if you're overconfident and cocky, that kind of causes you some problems. And if you have very low self-esteem, you don't tend to stand up for yourself and you become overburdened and you don't take the steps to improve your health. So I found, again, learn to accept compliments, eliminate self-criticism, introduce self-compassion, figure out your core competencies and recognize them, because it'll make you feel stronger. And I'll go over this list again of what are meaningful qualities that might help you recognize your own self-worth. And it's being considerate, being thorough, having humility, compassion, fairness, forgiveness, authenticity, knowing that you're courageous, that you're generous, that you're loyal, that you're honest, that you have courage, integrity, fortitude, responsibility. Boy, I want all of these. Perseverance, unconsciousness, tenacious, creative, respectful, trustworthy, leadership, politeness, kindness, self-disciplined, ambitious, forgiveness, encourage, reliability, optimism, and lovingness. I know that we all have a lot of these qualities, and if we start to recognize them when our crazy little monkey starts to turn down that negative path, maybe pull out some of those roadblocks, put them in his way, and remind yourself that there are so many great qualities about all of us. And learning to not allow ourselves to be overburdened, saying yes to our health, and telling the noisy little monkey to quiet down so that we can do something good for ourselves today. I think it's going to be a beautiful day. The sun's going to rise soon. Maybe it'll be a beautiful pink and blue, purple rise, and it'll be a great thing to watch. So remember, there's a lot of great qualities, and self-esteem is connected to how we feel about ourselves. So when somebody gives you a compliment, say thank you. And I know that can be really tough sometimes. And recognize your strong core competencies, because God doesn't make mistakes. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You've got some great gifts, and you just have to realize it and share them with the world. So thank you. Have a beautiful Sunday. Do something great for yourself, and push yourself forward to an amazing life. We're beginning anew, and it's going to be great. We all have to believe in that. Thank you, and have a beautiful day. Have a great day, Young. Bye-bye.